Hello and welcome to this crochet tutorial where I will show you how to make this hat with a brim. The hat consists of the moss stitch concept but with using half double crochet. We use the brim where we will use 2 strands of yarn instead of 1, and to add a little color we have a light blue band as well. So come join me and we will make this hat together that will fit either a child or an adult in this crochet tutorial. Let's get started. The materials and the tools that we will be using to make this moss stitch hat with brim. I have 2 colors here from Red Heart Super Saver. This one is in the color blue, and this one is in the color light blue. We have a crochet hook, I9 5.50 millimeters, a large eye tapestry needle, pair of scissors, and 1 stitch marker. Before I begin any crochet tutorial, I like to encourage you to pull from the center of your yarn, but notice sometimes when you first start, because the center is a little tight, we want to pull some out so that we can help maintain a proper tension. So go ahead and do that, and with let's go ahead and pull it out and we'll get started. So we're going to start this with about a 6-inch tail. We'll use that for sewing in later, but we're going to start with a magic circle. So go ahead and wrap it around your fingers and take your hook and go under the first, grab the second. It's like pulling up a loop and complete a chain stitch. Sometimes when you do this, the tail gets twisted up. Let's go ahead and tighten that first chain stitch onto our magic circle, and we're going to chain 2. This chain 2 will count as a half double crochet and a chain 1 space. So into our magic circle, half double crochet, chain 1. We're going to do our second half double crochet, chain 1, our third, chain 1, our fourth, chain 1, and our fifth. So if we look at what we have on here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, considered 6 total half double crochets with chain 1 in between. Now we did not chain 1 on the end, but we will now. So let's chain 1, and we're going to go up because this hat is going to be done in a spiral. Sorry for the pause. It is springtime here, but it's very cold out. So what we're going to do is in this space here of the chain 2 and the half double crochet, right inside there, we're going to do a half double crochet, chain 1, and a half double crochet, and a chain 1. A moss stitch is normally done in single crochet, but for our hat we're going to be doing it in half double crochet plus the chain 1. Now before we move on, let's get out our stitch marker, and on that chain 2 that we started out with, let's place our stitch marker on there. Throughout the process of our hat, this will help to identify the beginning and ending of rows just by the spiral that it's going to create. So we're going to skip that first half double crochet, and in the next space, the chain 1, half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet, chain 1. Okay, let's move on to our next space. We're going to be doing this so that we have a total of 12 half double crochets, chain 1s on this row. So skip the next half double crochet and into the next chain 1 space, half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet, chain 1. You see how we're getting close to our beginning row. You're going to find that as we make this hat, how quickly it really goes. Okay, and so here we have our last space here because we want to count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right here in our chain 1 space goes our 6th set. Half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet. So something else I'm going to point out is the shape of this up to so many rows is going to look like a hexagon. Since we have 2 half double crochets in the same space, we repeated it 6 times. So each time you come across 2 half double crochet chain 1s in the same space, you will do that repeatedly also. In between you have the chain 1 where we will add a regular half double crochet and chain 1. So let's move on. We've chained 1. So in our double space, we're going to do half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet, chain 1. Now in the space between the set of 2, we're going to do 1 half double crochet, chain 1. So here we are at our double again. And here's our single. Now we're going to do our double. Can you already see how fast it's going just by us doing it together in this video? Here we are on our single. Next we're going to do our double. And don't forget to chain 1 in between all of our stitches. That's what gives it the separation and calls it the moss stitch. In the half double crochet version, of course. So here we're in our double. And here we are at our single. Here we are at our double again. And here's our single. And this will tell us that that is the end of this row because it starts the double and the single, the double and the single. Now let's start our second row using our marker as our guide. You notice it'll follow up the doubles all the way. So we're going to start off with a double. Now on either side of this single has 2 spaces. So we're now this row we will have 2 singles. We're going to skip that 1 single and then in the next chain 1 space a single half double crochet plus chain 1. And here's our double again. So let's place a double in it. Okay, and so here's our single with an opening on both sides. So in each of those chain 1's openings, half double crochet, chain 1, skip the half double crochet, and in the next half double crochet and chain 1. Continue around until you stop at this half double crochet, and that'll let me know that you got it right. And then I'll show you what to do next. So did you get a hold of it? I know you did. It's super simple. So you can see here our next set has 2, just like what we've completed here has 2. So this one will start the new row. So I'm going to give you a little task to do. Now if you're making this for a child, you want to have 4 singles between the doubles of all these half double crochets. If you want to do an adult size hat, you will do 5 singles between the doubles. So go ahead and do row 3, 4, and 5 if you choose to make the adult, 3 and 4 if you choose to make the child. You're going to see how quickly this is going to go, and when you're at that finish point where you're ready to start your next double, it's going to look like a hexagon. So go ahead and I'll see you in a few minutes. So here is our hexagon shape, and moving on, what you're going to do is every one that has a double, you will now just put 1 half double crochet and chain 1, and then move on to the next one. Okay, so when you get to that, after you complete the one before the double, just place 1 and then move on. You're going to do this for continuation of 9 rows, and you can tell by your stitch marker, here you have all these doubles, and you'll start to see your singles start. When you have completed 9 rows, turn your video back on and I'll show you what to do next. So you can see how we've created this large cupping action. So to finish this row, we've chained 1, we're going to single crochet into the next stitch, and then on top of the half double crochet we're going to go ahead and slip stitch. Then we're going to cut our yarn and pull it through. And this completes our 9 rows for the side. So let's move on to our next color. Please place a slip knot on your hook and let's get started. So for this row, we're going to start off with a standing single crochet. We have a loop on our hook. We're going to go into the chain 1 opening and draw up a loop. And we're going to bring our yarn over and through 2 loops on the hook. That's our standing single crochet. Let's go ahead and pull our tail over so that way we can crochet it in with the rest of this row. Now our half double crochet loop is right here on the right, since we're right-handed. So instead of going through that loop, we're just going to place 2 single crochets in that chain 1 space. We're going to skip over the half double crochet and place 2 single crochets in each of the spaces all the way around. When you get to the end of the row, we're going to slip stitch it close, and then I'll tell you what to do next. So after we slip stitched into that first one, chain 1, and then we're going to single crochet for the next 4 rows, slip stitching at the beginning of each row and chain 1. After you completed a total of 5 rows, so we'll have the first one we did is 1, this is row 2, 3, 4, and 5. We'll meet up again and we'll finish the hat by putting a brim on it. So at the end of the 5 rows, let's go ahead and cut our yarn and pull it through. The chain 1 sections that you have here will be the center back of our hat. So let's kind of fold it. So this will be our front. Let's go ahead and place our stitch marker here so we'll know about where the center front is going to be. The brim for the hat is going to be dark blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut away carefully so I don't cut the yarn. I didn't want to cut my label so that way I know what to put back on it when I'm done. So we're going to pull the outside yarn and the center yarn, and we're going to double our yarn for the brim, and this will help make it stiff. So from where our stitch marker is, let's count over 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Insert our hook that has a slip knot with the double yarn on it. Let's pull up a loop and complete a single crochet. Let's go ahead and remove our stitch marker, and then we'll get started. So let's chain 1, and in our next space 2 half double crochets. Over the next 2 spaces 1 half double crochet. In the next space 2 half double crochet. Over the next 6 spaces 1 half double crochet. And here's number 6. Our next one will have 2 half double crochet. Our next 2 stitch spaces will have 1 half double crochet. Our next one will have 2, and our last one will have 1. Okay, so this is the beginning of our brim. Let's chain 1 and turn. Now you'll notice these loops that come down below. We have our V on the top and the one down below. We're going to go under all of those, so we're basically going to go in between all of these stitches here. So we're going to do a decrease. So yarn over, pull up a loop, and in between the 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, and pull it all together. Then we're going to go 1 all the way across until we get to the last 2 where we will do a decrease. So into the one that goes where we had our second was a double, yarn over and in between that chain space. Pull it up and chain 1. Let's turn our work. So this is what we have so far, a nice small beginnings of a brim. So we're going to go ahead and decrease again, but first we're going to start with a half double crochet, and then in the second stitch, whoops, I made a mistake. We want to go below that lip there. Yes, even the teacher makes mistakes. So let's chain 1 and turn. Okay, yarn over. We want to go below that lip. So 1 half double crochet, and then over the next 2 stitches, we're going to do our decrease. There's 1 and 2. Okay, and pull it a little tight, and then go across till you come within the last 3 stitches, and I'll show you what to do there. So with our last stitches, we're going to do a decrease, and then a half double crochet. Chain 1, turn your work, and we're going to repeat what we just did. So in that first stitch, well, actually we're going to skip that first stitch. We're going to go to the second one and do 1 half double crochet, and then in the next stitch we're going to do our decrease. Then half double crochet across until you have 4 stitches remaining. So to finish this row, we're going to do our decrease. Now we're going to skip this next stitch and half double crochet into the last stitch. That'll make it all conform over and look the same as the other side. Let's chain 1 and turn, and this will be our last row for our little brim. So we're going to skip that first stitch and half double crochet into the next. We're going to do our decrease into the next, covering over those 2 stitches, half double crochet within the last 4 stitches as before, and we're going to complete the row as what we just did on the other row. All right, and then we're going to cut our yarn. Now we're going to put a finish all the way around the bottom of the hat. That will also give a finishing to the edge right here. So starting in the center back with a slip knot on our hook, let's start with a standing single crochet, and we're going to single crochet in each stitch around. When you get to the brim, I'm going to show you what to do. We're going to go up around the edges, and right around here we might add 2 to conform to the curve of the brim. So as I'm coming up closer to the curvature here, I'm going to go ahead and put 2, maybe 3. No, I just need 2, and then continue on around. Okay, so continue on till you get back there, and then we'll be done with our hat. So at the end of the row, I have slip stitched into that first stitch, and I'm going to finish it off. So I'm going to weave this into the blue. Now when it comes to the magic circle, we want to go ahead and go around it 2 more times and then weave it in so that it does not come undone. If you cut it right here, your circle will come open and fall apart. After that, we are all finished with our hat. I think it is just a cute little hat. So here is the completed look of our hat with the brim. I hope you enjoyed this crochet tutorial. This hat was also made for the Hat Not Hate Stand Up to Bullying campaign. So I hope you will be able to make some and send them to the address that's in the description box with Lion Brand and the Hat Not Hate organization. So until next time, I hope you come back for another crochet tutorial. So till then, bye-bye.